Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts. At the moment, very interesting what's happening on the Bitcoin chart. That obviously has an effect on other cryptos as well. While we talk, Bitcoin is back above 42K. It was already briefly below 42K today. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart first. In my view, here we are currently, now I go onto the 8-hour chart. There we can still see this pattern here playing out at the moment, the ABC correction that I think should land in the area between 20 and 28.7K. Not guaranteed though. There is an alternative scenario in which this will be activated as soon as Bitcoin goes above 46.5K. It has in the last 24 hours come down, and we are really at a key decision point here for Bitcoin again. To get into this target area here between 20 and 27.8K, 28.7, Bitcoin needs to go down lower now. If it continues to push higher from here, and with pushing higher, I mean we need to see a higher high. We need to get above the previous high, which would be at 45.7, yeah, 45.8. Then there is a likelihood that we really see, instead of this 3-wave move that I've got on the chart here, that we're going to see a 5-wave move. And this could then indicate that we are going to see higher prices first, not to all-time high level. I don't believe that, not yet. But it would be a correction that would mean significantly higher levels before we then come into this target area down there between 20 and 28.7K. Decision point why? Well, first of all, you are here currently making a 3-wave move, yeah. But the thing is, we're currently coming down, and if the current level is holding and we're moving up from here, then we are going to see probably a 5-wave move that could look like that, and that would be basically a confirmation that we have here the beginning of an impulse, okay? Which means that this could be the beginning of an uptrend, where you then, after your 5-wave move up, you get your 3 waves down, typically, right? And then you get your next 5 waves up. That is all how markets typically move, right? Just crudely. So that is how it could work out, right? So then you are going higher and higher, and you could reach levels of around 65K in a maximum, in my view, before you can then come down lower. But to do that, the current level needs to hold. Why does the current level needs to hold? Well, because if this is a 5-wave move to the upside, then we might currently be here in a, then we are here possibly in a wave 4, because we've seen here wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see where we actually are in terms of the Fibonacci levels. So just drawing the Fib levels from the last recent low to the high, that would be the Fib levels from a wave 2 low to a wave 3 top, giving us the Fibonacci retracements for a wave 4. As you probably know if you've been following my channel, typically the ideal levels for a wave 4 retracement are the 0.382 Fib level. That's in this case 42.2. That did hold so far, even though we did drop below it. But also what is possible, but that would be for me the minimum, or the maximum, yeah, is 41K. If you drop below 41K, that scenario would get much less likely. And I think if we drop below 41K, then you're going to see much lower prices, a more significantly price drop. The reason for that is, first of all, it's the 0.5 Fib level. If we drop below that, the wave 4 isn't invalidated, but it gets much less likely. A wave 4 typically doesn't come down that far. And we are also losing here this previous support here around this area between 40, well, that's starting actually at 41.1K. Yeah. So I'm looking for that level. At the moment, very interesting what is happening on the chart, because Bitcoin is currently here in a descending wedge. So descending wedge, typically a more bullish pattern. And yeah, that is what could be playing out here, but also that's why I not necessarily like patterns too much, but we always want to have them on the chart. We want to be aware of them because they can indicate breakout points. What happened a few times now is that there were fake outs. There are oftentimes fake outs just looking at purely at patterns. So what happens sometimes, or actually more often, is that you see a possible breakout. People get long, people go long, yeah. But then the market makers know that, and they're actually pushing the price then lower. Yeah, and then you're again going to see quite a significant drop. That happened a few times now, where, or that happens regularly, you know, where key resistance, very obvious resistance levels get broken, but then the support doesn't hold and actually goes the other way. So I'm looking for that is going to play out here shortly. It was currently trying to break out here, but we don't see the volume. I don't see the volume. Normally a breakout of a pattern would be supported with some volume, or it needs to be supported with some volume. Currently, Bitcoin is still just below the 50-day moving average, or maybe even slightly above it. But the key is here that the battle around the 50-day moving average is not won or lost yet. So there's a lot of fighting going on around this level here. Yeah, so we're currently at this key level here, key tipping point, key decision point. Zooming out a little bit, we are also here looking at the bigger picture. What we have here is potentially forming, and that would be more the more bullish scenario, where we first see a move above the 46.5K. Yeah, but that is only going to play out if this inverse head and shoulders is playing out. So you've got your left shoulder, you've got your head, and you've got here potentially just building a right shoulder. And then if we break above this here 46K level, that is basically this ascending trend line of a larger head and shoulders. Yeah, that did play out before. We talked about this head and shoulders before when we broke it. Now we're retesting it from the other side. And yeah, if you get the retest and then break that, that could really push us to higher prices. I think then the downtrend is over for, you know, first of all. Of course not, this is, you know, it's not, we're not gonna go to all-time highs from here, I think. No, I think we're gonna see higher levels than before we then come down further. But yeah, this is where we are, key area, key decision point at the moment. That's why the current area where we're holding is so strong, so important. Because here between this level now, 42.2, yeah, and 41K, that's a key support zone. If we break below that, then you're going to see much lower prices. That could then push us down in the first instance here to around 39K, before you then probably see a counter reaction again to the upside, before you then probably come down lower again. So yeah, really key decision point, but we don't see the volume, so a real breakout I can't see yet here. And this is affecting the whole crypto market at the moment. So ADA as well, pretty much no movement from earlier today, so I'm not going to spend much time talking about ADA. There isn't really any significant news. ADA is just waiting for what Bitcoin is doing. So for Cardano, in my view, we are still here in this 5-wave move to the downside. Again, here there's a slight chance we could have seen the low already, but primarily also here I would expect a further move down. That is just what I expect primarily for Bitcoin as well. Even if Bitcoin moves a bit higher here, even if there should be an initial breakout, unless we go above the 46.5K level, this ascending trend line, the previous head and shoulders neckline, and the fib level, which is up here, which is basically the resistance level of the yellow box. Until then, I think primarily I just have to assume that we're coming down lower here. Once more into the target area between 20 and 28.7K. Yeah, it's key. Whoops, it's a key area where we are at the moment on the Bitcoin chart, and also that will have an effect, of course, on Cardano and many other altcoins. So yeah, I will keep you updated about what's going on here with Cardano and Bitcoin. One more thing to mention here on the Cardano chart, we see here higher highs, higher lows on the RSI. Not necessarily a bad sign, right? But again, we are still in the bearish range below 50. There were a few breakout attempts here. They always were fake outs. So unless you really push much higher on the RSI above the 50 line on the daily, you're not going to see the momentum that you need. Also, Cardano has lost already the battle around the 50-day moving average. You can see it here in orange. Yeah, it's not happening at the moment. It's not pushing through there. It's currently really in sideways movement, and we're currently seeing here potentially a higher low. So we had here this symmetrical triangle. Now that broke to the upside, so I can take that out actually. Then we saw the ascending wedge that broke to the downside as pretty much expected as a bearish pattern. And now we can extend that trend line, and you've got a new trend line here emerging that can really that is providing support actually right at this moment, as you can see. So that could push us again into an apex here. But yeah, it's just moving from pattern to pattern here at the moment on the Cardano chart as well, and waiting pretty much for a decision here really what Bitcoin is doing. We saw a first decision yesterday. It was not it was that decision that Bitcoin made yesterday, that it dropped below the 50-day moving average. that was important for this scenario, that we first have to see lower prices, before we go up higher, because had we stayed all the way up there, it would have been much more likely that we pushed through this ascending trend line of 46k, 46.5. But it made already a move down. Now it needs to break lower to really get into this final sell-off phase that we've been talking about for months, that I still expect primarily. It will only be invalidated if we break above 46.5k. Yeah, that's my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano at the moment. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe consider to join the channel membership, and you can find the links for that in the description. That gives you access to Discord, Telegram, and a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.